Hi guys and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Now in today's video I want to discuss crypto assets and what they are, and more specifically cryptocurrency such as Bitcoin. I feel like this has been a huge thing recently, but there's a lot of buzzwords around it, and honestly before this video I had absolutely no idea about it. Like, I've obviously heard of Bitcoin but I had no idea how it works. I had no idea how to invest in it, why you'd invest in it. You know, it was a really interesting topic to research to be able to give you guys the right information. And just before we jump into the video, I want to highlight a couple of things. So the first one, you'll see the normal disclaimer shortly, but I just want to say that this video is in no way intended to promote investment into Bitcoin, because that is not what this video is about. I want it to educate you about what Bitcoin is and how it is traded and how all of that works, but I am in no way saying that you should be investing in Bitcoin. And the second thing is, the sources that I use for my research are primarily FCA and the government website. So the information that I'm about to provide to you is from legitimate sources, and it's not just hearsay from someone on Google or YouTube. So yeah, bear with me as I explain it all to you in more detail. So without further ado, let's jump right into the video. So let's start with, what are crypto assets? Now, there is no official definition of crypto assets, but the one provided by the government website states that crypto assets are cryptographically secured digital representations of value or contractual rights that can be either transferred, stored, or traded electronically. Now, one thing to bear in mind is HMRC does not consider crypto assets to be currency or money. So there are actually three types of crypto assets, which are exchange tokens. So these are your methods of payment, such as Bitcoin. However, they don't actually provide any rights to any goods or services. They are simply a virtual currency. Then you have your utility tokens. So these are the ones that actually enable you to purchase goods and services on a specified platform using distributed ledger technology, DLT for short. So in effect, an individual or a business will normally issue the tokens and commit to accepting them in return for goods or services. And the third ones are security tokens, which provide the holder with particular interests in a business, for example, in the form of debt to the business or share of the profits in the business. And one thing to bear in mind is that it's only the security tokens that are actively regulated by the FCA. Both the exchange tokens and your utility tokens are both unregulated. So that's kind of the official explanation of what crypto assets are. But ultimately, crypto means hidden. Crypto assets aren't managed by the government or central bank, like is normally the case with any other form of payment. So for the purposes of this video, I'll purely concentrate on the exchange tokens, so the likes of your Bitcoin. Right, so we've gone over what crypto assets are. Now let's dive deeper into what cryptocurrency actually is. So let's take Bitcoin for example. Now, Bitcoin was first introduced in 2009, and if you followed the media, it went wild in the kind of 2017-2018 period. Basically, a lot of people who initially purchased Bitcoin were very well off, because Bitcoin's price just massively shot up, peaking at around $20,000 per coin, which is just absolutely mental. And for those who had quite large investment in Bitcoin, they were actually made millionaires. So you'll hear a lot of success stories from people who had actually made millionaires through investing in Bitcoin. So let's just rewind a little bit and just actually explain what Bitcoin actually is and how it's made, because I had no idea how it was made, how it all worked, and I actually find it quite interesting. So here's a little bit of background to it. So as I said, Bitcoin is a type side of a cryptocurrency, and different cryptocurrencies are made in different ways. However, the main one, and this is the one used for Bitcoin, is called mining. And no, not the actual digging and mining. But basically what happens is the miners check for transactions on the network, and then after working out their mathematical wizardry to see if the transactions are actually valid, the miners then create a public log of who owns what. Now this log is actually known as the distributed ledger, and this ledger is called the blockchain because as the transactions are validated, they are actually bundled into blocks which are then added to the end of the ledger. So in effect you've just got this whole chain of blocks, which basically means that this whole system is ultra secure because it would take a genius to actually hack it. So those platforms are very, very secure. Also they say. So I know that was quite complicated, so I hope you have followed me. If not, just kind of rewind it and watch it again until it does make sense. But ultimately it's just a lot of transactions pulled together into a massive blockchain. So interestingly, cryptocurrencies aren't actually currencies. So you can't go to your local Tesco's and pay for your loaf of bread with Bitcoin. It isn't a valid currency in the real world. However, there are places online that do accept Bitcoin as a valid form of payment. So electronically and online, it could be seen as a valid currency. However, in the real world, it isn't. So in effect, Bitcoin is actually seen more as an investment. People are expecting for Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies to skyrocket again to make them a lot of money. So a lot of people end up investing and trading them. So here comes the £1 million question. Is it worth investing in Bitcoin? Now, let me get comfortable. Let me be honest with you. I haven't done the research. It is interesting what's out there, and there was some very good research carried out by the FCA, and I'll actually link it down below because I do think it's very useful. As basically what they've done is they've carried out proper market research and asked people, who have already invested in Bitcoin or other cryptocurrencies. But anyways, through that research, there were a lot of similarities in the people that have ended up investing in Bitcoin and also the kind of results of it, and a lot of those people end up losing a lot of money, but I'll go on to that in a minute. So yeah, I'll link it down below for you to have a read through because it is really interesting if this is something that you're considering. But ultimately, let me just break it down to you. Personally, and this is my opinion, so I mean take it with a pinch of salt. You can either listen to me or you don't, it's up to you. But in my opinion, Bitcoin and all the other cryptocurrencies are a valid investment choice. However, what you have to take into account is that they are super high risk. And what I mean by super high risk is the fact that they can literally go down to zero in a space of, days, weeks, months. It is so highly volatile in terms of going up and down that it is so hard to manage. Now, there's two ways of investing in it. You've got the long term and you've got the short term. So the long term is, as it says on the tin, you kind of let it just do its thing, go up and down as it wishes, just like you would with stocks and shares. However, the main difference between cryptocurrencies and the likes of your stocks and shares is that the volatility is completely different. Your stocks and shares will rarely go up and down by more than 10%, whereas with Bitcoin, you're looking at it going up and down anywhere between 25 to 65%. It's crazy figures if you are an investor. So the other thing you can do is obviously trade. Instead of investing in it long term, you can actually trade Bitcoin, a little bit like Forex trading, where you buy and sell in a really short space of time to try and make like an instant profit. However, obviously there's advantages and disadvantages to doing that. It is very hard to track. That's one thing that I've kind of found out through the research, that doing it on a short term basis, you have to know what you're doing and you have to really follow the market and you have to really understand it in order to be able to profit on it ultimately. So I guess ultimately the choice is yours. Well, it always is. However, personally, if I was to invest in cryptocurrency, for one, I would diversify. So I wouldn't just purely go for Bitcoin. I would most likely spread my money between the different cryptocurrencies such as Ripple, Litecoin. There's so many of them nowadays, and there's more and more being created. And the way that works is with those ones, you're probably able to buy more at a lower price, and with the hype that's created around them, they're likely to shoot up, but as well as that, they'll probably come down as well. So as I say, it's a very difficult area, so I would recommend really thoroughly researching the subject before you jump in and actually invest in it. Just because, as I say, after having done quite a lot of research just purely for this video, I'm still undecided as to whether I would invest in cryptocurrency. It's hard to predict what's going to happen. Ultimately, you've got your two sides really. You've got the fact that technology is on the rise, you know, online presence of various businesses, all of that is booming and it's going to continue to boom. If anything, the high street is probably going to die at some point because everything is online and everything is so readily available. So with that comes the possibility of cryptocurrency actually being the next major thing out there. So if you want to, I guess, be a part of it, you know, you could invest a little bit into it and just see what happens. What I would say you should avoid is putting a lot of money in it. I probably wouldn't put a lot of money in it, especially if you can't afford to lose it. Because of it being so high risk, you know, you have to bear in mind that you could potentially lose it all. And I think before investing, that is the mindset that you should go into it with, is the fact that, do you know something, I'm investing £500, but I'm probably going to lose it all. So go into it with that mindset, and then if you do lose it all, well, you're expecting it. But if you do make money off it, then oh my god, bonus. So that's my view on it. But do let me know what you think in the comment section below, because I'd be very, very interested to hear your opinions on this. So if you're still watching and you've decided that actually you do want to invest in cryptocurrency, you're probably wondering, well, how do I go about it? And that is an absolutely valid question. So there are different ways of actually investing or trading in cryptocurrency, but the main two are either a crypto exchange, and I'd say the most popular one that actually came up was Coinbase. However, I know there's various ones out there. What I have noticed though is that I think just about all of them are based abroad. So, you know, just be careful when it comes to exchange rates, when it comes to additional charges, because a lot of them do not accept British pounds. You're going to have to convert your money to either dollars or euros, which can cost you quite a bit of money in charges. So just be aware of that. And the other main way of actually investing in the likes of Bitcoin is to do it on a normal trading platform. However, not every platform allows trading in cryptocurrency. So once again, you'll need to carry out a little bit of research to see which platforms out there will allow you to do that. But those two are the main options if you are looking to get involved in Bitcoin or other cryptocurrency. So that is it for this video. I hope you've enjoyed it, even though I feel like there is so much jargon and there is so much complexity around it in a way, and it took me a little bit of time to actually get my head around it all and understand it. But I'm glad that I've done this, that I've done the research and that I've done this video, because it's helped me understand it a lot more. So when I see people talking about it nowadays, it does make a lot of sense. So I just want to end this video with saying that you'll notice that there are a lot of influencers out there, you know, Instagram or wherever, where they bang on about investing in cryptocurrency and they bang on about, you know, you should do it now, you should do this, I'm making millions, I'm making thousands, I'm making this, I'm making that, I'm driving a Lamborghini, whatever, pal. Do not conform to social peer pressure. As I said, you could make money, but you could also lose a lot of money. So make sure that you are in a position where you are able to afford to lose money before you get involved in this. And just because Jimmy on Insta said he's making millions doesn't mean that you're gonna as well. A lot of people use it as a get rich quick scheme, and I honestly don't think you will get rich from it very quickly. I think you do have to be smart about it in order to be able to benefit from it. But that's just my opinion. So I do urge you to do your own research before you commit to investing in cryptocurrency, because at the end of the day, it's your hard-earned money that you could potentially lose. So on that note, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and also subscribe to my channel down below, as it really helps my channel to grow and reach a wider audience. And I'll see you guys on Friday with a brand new video. Bye guys!